Damien Cave, our Australia Bureau Chief, shares insights on global news, local recommendations, and feedback from readers in this weekly newsletter. To receive it in your inbox, sign up here. When the Papua New Guinea immigration officers knocked on our hotel door and asked for our passports, I knew that Adam Ferguson, an Australian photojournalist for The Times, and I were no longer welcome on Manus Island. "It's time to go," one of the men in uniform said after asking whom we worked for. "You've got what you need." He was right. After nearly a week in Manus investigating the standoff involving hundreds of asylum seekers who had refused to leave the detention camp that Australia tried to shut down on October 31, I had 3 notebooks full of interviews with detainees, local leaders, and outside experts. Adam and I had also found a way into the camp. We accompanied a few of the asylum seekers as they traveled by boat in the middle of the night to carry in food and medicine. We knew the visit was a risk. A boat captain had been arrested a few nights earlier, and the guards outside the camp were armed. We went anyway because we felt there was no other way to fully show the world what was happening without going inside. We also believed the worst-case scenarios were unlikely, based on previous trips we'd been told about by men in the camp. The result was an interactive article in which we tried to sew together words and photographs to deepen the experience of the story. More than 200,000 people read it, from all over the world, but the Australian response was especially striking, for both the outrage and sincere curiosity of many local readers, and the lack of interest from government. I rounded up some of my thoughts about the response on Twitter. But with a project like this, there are always things that drop out, that diverge from the main point of the piece, or that would simply make it too long. For example, there were men like Imran Mohammed, a Rohingya refugee from Myanmar, who I wished I could have introduced in the article to tell readers about the 200-page autobiography he has written, by hand, in English, which he learned while detained. There were locals helping the asylum seekers as well, whom I could not identify for fear they would be targeted by Papua New Guinea or Australian authorities. And there were moments of tension, too. One sweltering afternoon, while I was waiting for an interview, I saw a Pakistani asylum seeker stumbling, drunk and swearing, toward one of the guards at a detention facility closer to Lor Ngau. I did what I could to de-escalate the situation, but I left wondering when that might happen again and when the tension settling all over the island as a result of Australia's extended detention might erupt into violence. Some of these experiences and characters may find their way into future articles. Reporting, and over-reporting, is always valuable in one way or another, and just this morning, some of the asylum seekers inside were telling us that Papua New Guinea authorities were in the camp and trying to force them to move. While we look into that, here are a few visual outtakes from Adam, powerful photos that also did not make it into the original piece.